All aboard and welcome to the Running Channel podcast. We are back from an incredible 10 days in Tokyo with our normal Saturday morning episodes.
Yeah, we had an incredible experience out there making 9 days of 10 days in Tokyo. Thanks for that one, Rick. Anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about probably needs to listen back. Yeah, exactly. And it was challenging out there because we had relentlessly long days and very little time to fit stuff in, particularly our running. I'm training for a marathon. So I found that challenging and was definitely lacking in motivation.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we wanted to talk about today, whether it might be that the weather is changing, or it could be that you're coming back from injury, or it could just be like us and you've had a really hectic work trip with people you struggle to put up with for that long. And so you're struggling a little bit with the motivation.
So was Owen that bad?
He was, yeah.
Oh, God.
Do you know the discussion we were having in the Run Channel office today? Is Owen someone who actually gets annoyed when people eat around him? I was saying yes. I just feel like me and Owen sit next to each other, and every single time I'm eating a packet of crisps, I just feel him put his headphones in.
Well, you're a very noisy crisp eater, so I think perhaps it's just you.
Yeah, it might just be me.
Should we get into it?
Let's.
We'll also have your news and questions, because Rick forgot to say that before the jingle.
Pedant.
Such a nerd.
Why can't you just do it?
Such a geek.
Why can't you just do an intro for once where we don't mention the news and questions?
They know the
guys,
news and questions are coming, Andy.
We may or we may not do some news and questions.
Yeah.
Given the amount of time that we've spent together, this could all just fall apart today.
Can I talk about me first?
Go on.
I'm training for a marathon.
Before Rick inevitably wants to talk about himself.
Before Rick derails this whole thing. So I would like you to both be proud of me, because we are filming this on a Thursday and we flew back from Tokyo on a Tuesday, and on the Wednesday I had a day off and I had to get my long running because I'm going to a wedding this weekend as you're listening to this. So I ran 30 kilometres.
I know.
And now I hate myself.
I was shocked when I saw this.
So was I.
Shocked. No jet lag then?
Well, so I got 8 hours of sleep, which I was pretty chuffed with.
Night one.
Then I thought, that was a classic night one. Then I thought, right, let's just go out. It can't be that bad. I'm going to take the pace super slow. There's a lovely route from my house, which means that you don't have to think at all. You just follow the route. Horrific, awful. Why, when they invented marathons, did they make them so long?
Your pace was pretty impressive, though, for 18 miles.
Thank you.
Was it 18 miles?
It was. I don't know how long 30k is. Is it only 18?
It was just over 18.
18.39, I think.
Yeah, awful.
Sad.
Really sad. Really sad.
Oh.
Do you know what was sad though? You know that song that you recommended to me, the Sam Ryder one?
Oh,
what's it called?
Parenthood.
So
Heartbreaking, isn't it?
I added that to the playlist for that run. I had about 6 songs going like on loop. I cried.
How much heart in that song? That's why I sent it to you.
I knew
you'd like that song.
I loved it. I played it to Tom in the car after the run when he got home, and he was like, could this be a first dance song for our wedding? And I was like, probably not, it's too slow.
Because Rick gave me it.
I was like, probably not. Rick recommended
didn't send it to me though.
No, because I recommended you go to take that, and within 48 hours you've bought tickets.
Yes, I'm so excited about this.
Yeah. I
normally missed, so actually I wouldn't have even known it existed without you. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you've had a nice 18-mile run and you've bought Take That tickets. Meanwhile, in Bristol at 3:30 this morning.
How's the jet lag, mate?
How's the jet lag, mate?
I just woke up at 3:30. And I was on a Times gig in Bristol, and I just couldn't get back to sleep.
What time did you go to bed?
9:30.
Oh, so a decent 6 hours.
Should we address the elephant in the room, or should we say the well-dressed elephant in the room?
Well, most people
the joke, Rick,
if you're watching this on YouTube,
most people are listening.
Yeah. Oh, right, can I describe?
Yeah.
Imagine it's the night after someone's got married and you see someone emerge out of a hotel room with no shoes on, some form of chino, no suit jacket, and the smartest shirt you've ever seen.
He does look like he's doing the podcast walk of shame.
You are doing the podcast walk of shame.
I've swapped my corporate trousers into some slacks, I'd call them.
Which you decided to do in front of us. So picture this.
I'm comfortable with that.
Rick comes into the room, despite having... How long were you on the train for?
2 hours.
Does the train have toilets?
I don't like getting changed on train toilets.
So instead what he did is he walked into the podcast studio and he went... He arrived at the time that we were supposed to record, which we didn't know about. He goes, do you mind if I just get changed? And me and Andy were like, no, fine, crack on, off you go. So he starts getting changed. He replaces his trousers for, I'm not going to lie, an identical pair of trousers.
Yes, they literally look the same.
He's got his shirt off, and then me and Andy are like, actually, I quite like the shirt. I think you should put it back on.
Yeah, but
because you look very smart and you look very different.
You do look very smart.
I couldn't leave a room of 30 people where I was interviewing them and questioning them on what's coming up in the budget wasn't like exactly I could change my trousers in that room. You know what I mean?
Well, no, but I'm not saying change your trousers in front of people.
Right.
That just seems to be your default.
Well, I'm glad you've all spent some time doing nice things. I haven't even seen my children.
How are they?
I don't know.
Andy, you went for a run.
I had a much better running experience than you because I only tried to run 5 miles.
Right.
Which was lovely because it was 15 degrees. So it was a good 15 degrees and 30% less humid than what we've been used to. So that did feel like a massive weight had been lifted.
Easy.
Albeit it was counteracted by a little bit of jet lag. And I would say our jet lag was made slightly worse by our last night experience in Tokyo.
Oh God,
and I've got a little timeline of events that will very quickly whiz through, and then we'll get onto the topic today, which is talking about motivation.
Yeah.
So the timeline of events on the last night in Tokyo for the 5 of us out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rick at 6:30 p.m. I'm just having water and an early night.
Yeah.
Because we've got a 14-hour flight tomorrow.
That's right.
It was actually only 13 hours.
Okay. 6:30 p.m. that was. Rick at 6:45 p.m.
Yeah.
Do you have wine by the bottle? I don't like being restricted to only having glasses. And he was putting that into Google Translate for our wonderful Japanese host. That's Rick at 6:45. Rick at 10:30 p.m. This sake's nice. Rick at 11 p.m. I'm going to bed. We've got a 14-hour flight in the morning.
Correct.
Rick at 11:15 p.m. belting out Elton John at a karaoke bar until gone midnight.
Rick, what a wonderful end to a wonderful
And then Rick
week.
at 9 a.m. the following morning, as we were getting onto a flight, I feel so awful.
Do you know my favourite bit about the morning of the flight was Andy was the last one to come down, because what happened was we got outside the karaoke bar and that was the point that Andy went, no.
Yeah,
this
not
is
for me.
too silly for me.
I am actually going to do what Rick says and go to bed.
I'm going to go to bed. So the rest of us sang our little hearts out for 45 minutes in the karaoke bar. Or maybe it was an hour, I can't remember. Got back to the hotel, reran the maths that we'd done an hour earlier, which I don't know who did the maths, but it was not good. Probably me. Realised that we actually needed to be out earlier. So I popped in the WhatsApp, by the way, we actually need to leave the hotel at like 7:15 rather than 7:30. And I just remember all of us coming down with our suitcases and me, Rick, Owen and Tom just all looked at each other and went, are you still drunk? Yeah. And then I think it hit as we were boarding the plane. Well, speaking of the plane though, what happened on the plane, Rick?
We flew over the North Pole.
Look how happy he is.
And
then we all went and stood at the back of the plane and had a look out of the window.
It was magical.
So we could see all of the
various
bits of snow and ice. And
I've never, ever had a Instagram story liked as much as my picture of the North Pole.
I'm not even sure it was a picture of the North Pole, was it?
Well,
No.
I looked on the map. It said we're over the North Pole.
Okay.
I tapped on the guy who didn't want to speak to me the whole journey and said, do you mind if I take a picture over you?
Yeah.
Popped up the window, took it, and we were over the North Pole.
Oh,
very cool.
it was so beautiful. And it was also like this, we were just coming from the half of the world that was in darkness into the half of the world that was in lightness. I don't know what you call that, sunrise?
It's
I guess.
And it was so beautiful.
I know a few flight geeks through speaking to them in various jobs over the years, and apparently this is the flight that so many people want to do because it's just an all-day flight, and it used to be more popular, as we know, in the 1970s when they used to stop in Anchorage in Alaska. And basically they avoid, because of political tensions, flying over Russian airspace. So you go out over the sea. So you go, initially you'd go east.
Yeah.
And then
you go
fly
quite a long way out of your own way in order to get up and over,
And then you fly over Anchorage, over Alaska, over the north coast of Alaska, up over the pole, and then you kind of go over the top of Greenland, and like
that's the bit that we saw a bit more of.
The bit of Canada, I think it's none of it in Canada, Greenland, Iceland, and down.
You just see like, you see mountains, you see snow, you see like
you're in the middle of nowhere.
You see icebergs. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
Speaking of water, I've done one other run since we've been back, which happened this morning, which you'll be able to see on social very soon. I raced a rowing boat.
What?
Just another day in the life. I raced 1 mile, all out, raced a rowing boat.
It's your classic post 14-hour flight training plan. It's like, I've come off a 14-hour flight. What am I going to do on my day off? 30k. what am I going to do the next day?
Yeah.
Flat out 1 mile run against a rowing boat.
Yeah.
I think you've lost the plot since you got back.
Me too, but actually really enjoyed myself. I'm not going to give away what happened, but very fun. Ross, the rower, versus me, the runner.
Was this a challenge?
It was a challenge, yeah.
Oh, I thought you had a day
Stay
off.
tuned to find out what Sarah got up
Stay
to.
tuned. No, it was down at the docks this morning. Yeah,
Oh,
see?
right.
You
Well-
think you've gone to Bristol and that's hard? Some of us.
Chased a rowing boat.
Well, I did neither of those things. Sorry.
Sorry, you didn't.
No, didn't do either
You
of
just
those
came
things.
to work.
Because I was born motivated, like Rick. So shall we talk about motivation?
We
and how
should.
to actually
Let's
stay
talk about
motivated in running?
motivation. So when it comes to motivation, I think there's a few different things that we need to unpick. But should we just each go round first and say, like, what is the one thing that keeps you motivated?
Andy?
Thank you.
Andy was so distracted.
Oh, no, I was saying thank you. I assume you meant Andy was the thing that kept him motivated.
It's quite quick.
I was
Thanks.
good.
It was quite
that
quick.
passed me by.
Yeah, it did,
Right,
didn't you?
what-
Just going to take the mickey out of me for not paying attention, whereas in fact I was paying so much attention I made a little joke that you didn't get. So,
Yeah.
brilliant.
What does keep you motivated, though?
Rick,
Thank you.
Cutie.
partly this podcast keeps me motivated because it keeps me accountable.
You
So-
have to have stuff to talk about.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, joking aside, and I openly talk to thousands of people about taking on a marathon or a half marathon or 5K, whatever it might be. And a little bit like using Strava for the same purpose, I feel like I know people are checking in on me. And it's perhaps not the best form and healthiest form of motivation, but it is something that gives me a bit of a kick up the backside every morning, and or like when I'm going to go out for a run, where I'm like, yeah, okay. Like some people are going to care whether I've done this thing or not, so I might as well do it and do it to the best of my ability. So that's one of my like big motivators. Another one is I've decided to do something, and that's the single key thing that motivates me. So I've decided to do a marathon. I have a place, I've got a bib, there is a date for that. And having a specific date on that goal makes a huge difference to like how motivated I am. And actually I've put them into my watch, so my Garmin keeps telling me exactly how many days it is, which is scary. Not enough is what I would say right now.
Rick, obviously, aside from being born motivated.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go a little bit deep to start off. So two things. I'd say motivation comes with me in short and long-term forms. So my long-term motivation is to keep fit and to live to 100.
Okay.
So I just want to have,
so that's
I want to have a
another
belting
70
night in a
years.
Japanese karaoke bar on my 100th birthday.
Another 70 years from here then.
75. And for me, fitness, keeping fit, being able to play with my kids, that's the serious stuff. I want to be fit, healthy, active. I feel rubbish when I'm not exercising.
So did you feel a bit rubbish out in Tokyo?
No, I felt great.
He wasn't around his kids, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I did 2 runs and a lot of walking.
Yeah.
So
To be
much
fair, we did
exercise.
do a lot of
So
walking.
much walking every
Yeah.
day.
Funnily enough, the children is a motivator for me underneath all of that, is that I don't want them to ever have it in their mind like, really, you went to the Olympics? Sort of look at me in
You
disbelief.
said this to me in Japan, and actually it's one of the things I remember clearly from that trip, even though it was only 2 days ago.
Yeah.
You said to me about how, because the kids won't remember, even though it was only 2017 when you retired, that you running in all these big competitions, that you don't want them to imagine you not being able to do it.
Yes, exactly. So and that's a big motivator. Sarah? Oh, sorry. I think Rick, actually, you didn't finish that was your long term, right?
Yeah,
Medium
yeah.
term.
My shorter term stuff is based on a slight fear of failure.
Yeah.
So
That's how I live a lot of my life. Actually, very dangerous.
and it's not something that keeps me up at night, but just a short-term desire, if I've got a target, not to fail at it. Even though we know, Sarah, that failure's good because it can come back and you can win a second time.
Well, also, you were incredibly smug when both Sarah and I failed to hit our targets.
But
Because you
that's-
think failure's good for us.
I do think failure's good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, it also
Failure is
shows
great.
the reality of it. Like sometimes you just don't hit your goals, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't strive for them.
Yeah, my motivation, I would say, is but like similar to yours, Andy, in that I know from other people that I am a much nicer person to be around if I've done some form of exercise.
Yeah.
I think for a long time I got a bit stuck in thinking like, well, I'm either training really hard or I might as well not train at all because there's no point. And now I've very much reframed that. I don't have like kilometer alerts turned on my watch. I very rarely look at what I would call like the default screen.
Can you tell me how to turn those off?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's honestly life-changing. The only thing that comes up is now performance condition is like the only kind of alert that I have on my watch.
Yeah.
So if I go out, if I'm having like a stressful day and if I go out for a run, I will always ask myself like, what is going to be a good run for me today?
Yeah.
So like yesterday's 30-kilometer run started off at, well, I'd quite like to run a marathon in under 4 hours, and I reckon my base fitness is really good right now, so I should probably actually be able to run a marathon PB. Then I had a very frank conversation with myself where I was like, I've been on a 13-hour flight. I really haven't run that far. I haven't run a marathon in over a year.
And you had to split your 20-mile run in Tokyo into 2 10-mile runs because of how brutal the heat was.
I've done a 24k run, but that was actually quite a few weeks ago now. So realistically, I set zero expectations. I only had my heart rate screen up on my watch and I just went and ran, and I felt like happy and like fulfilled afterwards. So my motivation comes from knowing that I need to get out and do something, but detaching what I need to do from the like overachiever in me to go out and have to do every single thing. Because we actually had a really good question about this on the Running Channel Club, where someone was asking, they'd said like, I've done this, this and this, how good could I get? And I gave one of those really annoying, boring answers where I was like, well, what does your life look like? How many times are you going into work? How much time can you put aside? You could, if we think about like the enhanced games that we keep seeing people talk about, if you pumped yourself full of drugs, you dropped everything apart from running, you could be maybe phenomenal. But like, how many of us are actually prepared to do that? We all want some kind of balance, right?
Yeah.
Enhanced games, a bunch of clowns.
Wow. Oh, you heard
sit on the fence, Rick.
Do you know what I think? Sorry, this is a deviation, but I've seen loads of professional athletes talking about the enhanced games because someone came out and have said that they've agreed to do it.
Fred Curley.
Philly Bowden hit the nail on the head with how it should be treated. It's just a science experiment, so why are we racing people against each other? Like, should it not be like, how much can you break the world record by?
I think that's probably what it is.
Is it? Yeah. I thought it was going to be like Fred Curley versus...
Well, I think ideally that it is going to be that. They're trying to get people to line up against each other. But actually most of the stuff they've been doing, like they had a guy in the swimming, I think, swim very close to an old world record or whatever. So that was like a time trial on their own.
That makes more sense. Yeah. I feel like an enhanced games where you're going to be like, please welcome athlete number 1, athlete number 2, athlete number 3. Don't really see the point.
I think by definition you're going to get... you're just going to get people doing that are either past it in terms of like they've realised they can't now compete on the world level in their sport, and then there's $1 million up for grabs, so why not do this thing? Or Fred Curley's a really special example.
What do you reckon their motivation is?
Money?
Yeah.
Which,
fair
to be
play
fair,
to him on the money thing. But we can't take him seriously.
Yeah, the only thing that's interesting to me is I feel like I was competing against a whole bunch of people that were doping. And so there is a part of me that wants to know what it was like for them. Does that make sense? Like I would love to try all of this stuff safely and see how much better it made me. But then I don't like the example that it sets as an idea for like people watching. And it's not a sport in the true sense of it. It is a bit of a spectacle. So it's not for me at all. It
makes it less of a equal playing ground.
What do you reckon their motivation is though? Because it's not like, I think that
what do you mean the company is behind it?
No, the athletes. Like if you're going into that, it's not like you just sit at home with an IV drip in. Like you still have to go out and train. So do you reckon their motivation, if you have been a clean athlete up until that point, then there's quite a shift in like, you're not motivated by a gold medal at the Olympics anymore, or you're not motivated
I think you're motivated by the $1 million.
Right.
I think I can't see any other reason that you would do it. Like, and Fred Curley's a bit different. He's a US sprinter. He's been in a bit of trouble this year, various arrests and so on. But also he was most recently got banned for 2 years for whereabouts failures by not telling the drug testers where he was going to be. And so a lot of people, I imagine, then immediately signing up for this is like is kind of almost saying, I was cheating anyway, so why not get paid to cheat? I've got that's, all alleged hearsay. So don't come and sue me. I'm not saying he was cheating. But I think there's a lot of people saying that, speculating that would be the reason.
Oh, interesting.
But just to sum up our own motivation and for people listening, I think picking a goal makes a massive difference. And putting a finite date on it so you have to work towards it. Making yourself accountable in some way, which is what I talked about. So let us know with the Running Channel podcast that you're doing something. And then let us know how you get on at the end of it. Or with a friend or a coach or a family member or a partner, just saying, I'm going to do this thing, and have someone that you're going to, at the end of each run, say, yeah, I did the thing I was supposed to do today. I
like Rick's way of thinking about it as well, in terms of long term and short term, because for so many people, like, we're just coming into autumn marathon season. We'll come on to talking about it in a second, but we've had Berlin Marathon, we've got Cape Town Marathon, Chicago Marathon, New York Marathon, all majors happening. So there will be countless other marathons happening in between that people will be training for. Or it might be that you've trained through the summer for a 5K or a 10K or whatever race that it might be. I think the hardest point to be motivated is coming back into running after having a big goal, because running for a lot of people isn't this thing where you just steadily tick over for the entirety of the year. Like, as runners, we love training really, really hard, and you can't sustain that for a whole year. So not only, I think it's quite hard to keep a steady level of motivation when your training level is not steady either. So you kind of have to accept that it is going to like ebb and flow throughout the year.
Yeah, I think you have to have that level of acceptance and know that it's completely normal. And also, everybody feels like after a big goal, afterwards, there's a dip in motivation, and also this panic that all of this hard work that you've just put in for 16 weeks or whatever, you're just like throwing it away by then not exercising. But you need to strike the balance of like letting your body recover, but actually more your mind, like the psychology of really hammering yourself for a particular goal, and then pouring your emotional and psychological self into trying to achieve it is arguably more exhausting than the actual physical toll it takes on you. And so give yourself a chance to just recover the headspace first, and definitely your body be ready to go by the time your headspace is back.
Accountability is powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
Like when you said, when I was texting you and saying, oh, you were like, Andy's put this run in my diary, I'm just going to go do it.
Yeah.
That's because you knew that I would be checking.
You'd be checking. It's a powerful tool, even if you're not driven by the need to impress other people.
Yeah.
Just the simple act of being accountable to someone, whether or not you are, you need it, for wider purposes. Just a long-term date, being accountable, knowing that that's got to be done.
Yeah.
And the fear of going, oh, you know what? I didn't do it.
Even if it's as simple as like, I remember I've left the Running Channel office and been like, oh, I'm going to go do this run tomorrow. No one can check. Yeah, you've just thrown it out there, and then you think about that thing that you've said.
Well, and also remember, like, I get it's incredibly powerful for Andy, who coaches me, to just text me after run saying like, good run, or saw that, nice work. It's never particular, it doesn't need to be massive. But bear in mind, you listening to this, you could be this for total strangers on Strava or your friends. Like, the power of kudos is something, like giving a thumbs up when you see someone's Strava activity you knew they're training hard for. But actually take the time to go in and comment on a friend's activity and saying like, great job, like, looks like that was a tough one, or it's windy today, can't believe you got that done, or like something that validates that and shows them. And it's not, you shouldn't see it as it feels like someone's checking up on me. Oh my God, I've got to have done this thing. It's
or
more
faux
like
praise.
You've got these people that are rooting for you, that genuinely will acknowledge you when you do the things you say you're going to do.
That's why I haven't mentioned it in a while, but I love my running club.
Yes.
Because again, accountability. You have to,
showing up for each other.
9 times out of 10 I forget to do this, but there's an app and you have to like click and say I'm in.
Yeah.
And as soon as I click and say I'm in, even if it's raining, it's cold, I don't want to get out of the car, I can't be bothered, work's run over a little bit, I'm running late, I will go, because I will not turn up because I've said I'm in.
Yeah.
There's an app.
Yeah, it's very high tech.
Oh, right.
There's an app, there are announcements, there are messages. There's also WhatsApp groups, which I didn't realise for ages. There's a lot of admin with the running club.
Incredible. Well, one of the things that Rick's genuinely not really challenged with is motivation. But technology, on the other hand.
Oh, yeah.
So this week's challenge, Rick, is sponsored by Hyperice. They have provided the incredible Hyper boots for Rick to try, which I'm holding one of them now. So on YouTube, you'll be able to see this.
It's a collaboration with Nike, and they look so cool.
And they look pretty cool on me with a suit on in Wetherspoons last night, where I looked like the absolute Don walking in. I looked like I just landed from the moon.
So, for context to our international listeners, Wetherspoons is a UK-based pub chain.
Yeah.
So
Bristol Wetherspoons didn't know what hit it last night.
and you need, they're aimed at recovery. Like that's the point, right? Like they're helping with heat and pressure to help your feet and ankles recover.
Well, I was all of me was recovering in there last night with these on. They have buttons on the side. These
and an app as well.
And an app.
Yeah.
These are enormous. The message when they arrived at my front door from Chantal was, "What have you ordered?" Yeah.
I think that says more about the size of the feet.
They're super comfy. So
let's describe them.
Yeah, so they have a heel of around about 3 inches thickness. Then they have a couple of buttons down the side.
So they're like ankle-high boots, basically.
Yeah. And they're essentially to help you recover in between runs. And they do it by firing a load of deep heat into your feet.
Yeah.
And giving
it goes
you
up to 52 degrees.
Yeah, but
you said you didn't
it doesn't feel hot. It feels like a cooling effect when you're wearing them.
Oh, really?
On the muscles in your
and
feet.
I mean, let's be honest, the main point of this segment is could you work them out? With the app and the buttons. There's not many buttons, so they're fairly Rick-proof. There's only 4 buttons.
I just felt pretty cool walking around Bristol in them.
So that's not an answer. Could you get them to work?
Do you know the problem that I think this solves so well is that all of us are just about struggling for motivation with our running. The motivation to recover well really just fades away when you have to like sit and be still and use a foam roller or sit and
or
be
like a
still.
golf. I've been using a golf ball on my plantar fascia at the moment.
Yeah,
on the arch of my foot.
And it's so hard to find the time to be able to do that. So this, I think, is genius because you can, if you've just finished up a run and you're popping over the road to go to the shops, or you're like, oh, hang on a second, I need to get the washing out, or I need to do or I need to go sit in the pub with my work colleagues in my shirt and pretend I'm really fancy. This solves that problem.
Yeah, because they're comfy and you can just walk around them. After I had an osteotomy, Have you
had knee surgery?
I've had, quite a bit actually.
Okay.
You never mentioned
the osteotomy, the really nasty one, when you stood up and all the blood went to your foot and it literally felt like the worst pain imaginable. I had to wear this cooling tube that the hospital gave me afterwards, and it goes through tubes coming out of the brace that you put around your leg, goes into this ice center, pumps, cools it down, throws it back in to keep your knee cool and basically help it recover more quickly. But felt very nice, when you've got that amount of swelling and stuff. Yeah. These also felt pretty nice, just very chilled, very easy to walk around in.
And they're so usable as well. So you can use them before workouts to help you prepare. You can use them after a workout to help recover and be ready for the next one. You can use it on your rest days, and it's also TSA approved, so you can travel, take them anywhere, and they're also great. Like imagine putting those on after a marathon.
Yeah, but I don't know
or after a flight. When my ankles were swollen after the flight at the weekend. This week. Coming back from Tokyo. So actually I was a bit annoyed that Rick had these and not me.
You need to share
like I said, plantar fascia, ankle range of motion, all of those things. It's a combination of heat and I think is it Normatec, the bladders, the air bladders inside that provide dynamic compression, and they give you the combination of compression and heat to hopefully help you recover.
So
I'd lend you them, Andy, but I think you're a size 9.
He's only a size 10.
Are you 9 or a 10?
Or are you an 11?
10. I'm 11, yeah.
You might be able to
wear lots of pairs of socks.
Wiggle your toes, wear lots of socks.
Yeah.
So will we be seeing you rocking these around the office more often?
I definitely feel that if I had some problems with my ankles or feet and I needed to recover more quickly.
Yeah, and if you were running a bit more.
If I was,
Right now,
what are you saying?
Savage.
Hey, look, when we sign you up for your next big challenge, these are going to come in very handy. But between then, still great for rest days.
Yeah, so I look forward to using them more.
Big thanks to Hyperice there and the Hyper Boot. If you want to find out some more, then the link will be in the show notes. But let's do some news. Harry Styles ran Berlin Marathon.
Under 3 hours.
Under 3 hours. Everyone else had an absolute shocker. And Harry Styles, he had that watermelon high.
Yeah, he was just rocking up as it was.
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
I wish I'd prepped for this.
He headed in one direction straight for the finish line.
Oh, nice. That was good. Yeah. That was actually really good.
Excellent. I can't think of any of the others.
Isn't there one called like, I want?
Hey, this singing. That's what makes you beautiful. No?
Bit of an old 1D reference.
Was that too weird?
We needed some more styles, mate. More styles.
I can't think of any other Harry Styles song. Can I just say
I was quite proud of that one. I just had been shot down.
It was good. It was good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What a phenomenal effort. So Berlin, if anyone missed it, if you didn't see the 1001 influencers and other runners of Berlin Marathon complain about the heat, apparently it was quite
Not as hot as Tokyo though, was it?
No, not as hot as
What are your thoughts on influencers?
My thoughts on influencers are, if you've seen Sam Cornforth's recent video where he summarises how an influencer tackles a marathon, I think he hit the nail on the head.
Give me a 10 second
Do we fall into that category though? Have we done any of those things as well?
We might have done in the past. I think it's just the like, really excited to take on this challenge, guys. So excited. Then the marathon starts. Then you just see all these Instagram story updates, which are like, and then it's just like black background with just some white text being like, gave my heart and soul, guys, but today just wasn't my day. Which I think you have to sometimes you have to joke with the marathon, and the marathon is absolutely brutal. And for anyone who was out running in 28 degrees, that sounded horrendous. And to be able to run a PB, you have to be Harry Styles apparently to be able to cope.
Do you get paid a lot being an influencer?
No idea. With some really well.
I had a friend who used to be an influencer for like doing travel guides and tours and hotel stuff. So she used to get absolutely everything free.
It's a bit less pressure though.
But she never used to get any money.
No.
But everything was free.
You know, it's a bit less pressure being that type, because like, can you imagine the same thing, like arriving at like a resort in the Maldives and then putting up a story being like, just wasn't my day, guys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very
like
different.
there's no similarity.
Even though it was so hot, Sebastian Solway managed to win in 2:02, which is not far off.
He also came through halfway in like pretty much on world record pace, so that's very exciting. And isn't it as well? It's something like he's run either 2 or 3 marathons and has won all of them.
Yeah,
so this be the next person to watch out for whether 2 hours can be broken in a world record environment.
Well, and you also had, Berlin. It's weird that Berlin's been kind of usurped as one of the fastest marathons by Chicago having the world record set there, Valencia being a kind of almost the destination of choice for lots of marathon runners wanting a fast race.
Yeah.
And Berlin is fast, but then it was unusually hot. I think that's reflected actually. Rosemary Wanjira won the women's race in 2:21, which there would have been a period in marathoning history where you think, oh, that's phenomenal. And it is. She's won a world marathon major in an incredibly fast time. But compared to the times that have been being run elsewhere by the top women, it's what a weird world to be in where I'm going, 2:21 is not as fast. Yeah.
I saw someone talking about, so to go back to the heat, I saw someone talking about how someone was like, why are people so surprised about the heat in Berlin? If you want to run a marathon PB now, you've got to run it between like November and February, which I feel like no.
Big generalisation, I think.
Huge generalisation. It's more, you're literally rolling the dice weather-wise. Like we've seen
it's
a very
unusual
hot
for Berlin to be hot.
Yeah, but we've seen a hot London Marathon. We've seen a hot Berlin. When I ran Berlin, literally perfect conditions. Sorry to anyone who didn't run it in 2023. Yeah. But I think it is a factor and it is a consideration. And I think there were lots of people who went out and tried to run a PB and then came away disappointed. But I think just bringing it back to motivation for a second, this is why marathon ABC goals are so key, because I've been there when a race hasn't gone to plan and then you feel so demoralized afterwards and you kind of can like hate running a little bit, but actually like you can't control the weather. No. So like what is the
tough thing of a marathon, isn't it? So much planning, so much prep, and then you get one shot and then you've got to go and build up
and you
to
literally
it again.
get one day.
Yeah.
But if you were like, you used to talk about if people were chasing like a particular time to qualify for something in your elite career, people would literally be like, nope, that race isn't going to work for me, I'll fly here instead. You can't do that as a marathon runner. If you've paid for your accommodation, you pay for your flights, you pay for everything.
Famously, the story of Roger Bannister trying to run the first ever sub 4 minute mile, they didn't have a set start time and there was a flag that was flying above the track in Oxford and they were waiting for that flag to drop.
Oh, for the wind.
For the wind, yeah. And then the flag dropped and they're like, let's go. I don't know quite how they coordinated their warm-up around that, if I'm honest. But
That sounds
But yeah, that was the famous story there. But yes, you've got your wave at a marathon. You've got to show up. You've got to run it. There's so many things that are out of your control. So well done that anyone did get out there this weekend, because it sounded challenging.
Yeah.
And well done, Harry Styles.
Yes.
I was trying to work in a Harry Styles pun because I remembered the song As It Was, but then I just couldn't think of a sentence to work it into.
As it was in Tokyo.
As it was.
It's Harry Styles in Berlin.
Would you like to hear from Gwen in Canberra?
Love to.
Do you remember when we were in Tokyo and we were talking about Gwyn and Gwyn is Owen's favourite Welsh name?
Gwyn.
Right?
But it's a man's name.
Yeah.
Well, this is Gwen.
Oh, right. Was that it?
Hi, Gwen.
That was it.
Okay.
That was it. Just a brief reference to some time, probably only about 48 hours ago.
We did also discover on a one night out in Tokyo that producer Owen thinks he can do an
accents.
Incredible array of accents, which was a brilliantly entertaining evening, but I don't think any of that is broadcastable.
No. Maybe the Geordie one.
Yes, possibly.
Maybe the Geordie one.
His Welsh accent was very good.
His Welsh one was really realistic.
Do you know what? Until he did all of the different Welsh accents, I didn't really know that there were that many different ones.
No.
I thought if you were Welsh, you were Welsh. But how wrong was I?
Harsh, really harsh, Sarah. Educate yourself.
I know, sorry.
Yeah. Hello. I started running in my mid-30s, where I well and truly caught the bug. I improved massively until the age of 43, when a string of yearly injuries played havoc with my body, resulting in at least 6 weeks completely off running every year, with the usual slow return. I have now had 12 months injury-free, and I'm looking longingly back at the times I used to hit in my early 40s. I'm now 50. Do you think it's possible for me to get back near those times, or do I have to accept that is all behind me now?
Ooh, Andy,
Yeah.
will you be wanting to PB when you're 50?
Yes.
Only a few years away?
No, it's not. That is so cruel.
7 years away.
I'm going to defend him
I
here.
knew you'd get annoyed at that.
I'm going to defend him here.
How old are you? 44?
43. Don't age me by
You're
next year. Sarah.
literally you're picking on him now.
Sorry, you're
You're picking on him.
46? 47?
40, yes.
Andy, answer the question.
43. You're closer to 50 than you are to 35.
I'm closer to 50, much closer to 50 than I am to your age. What's it? Actually, am I closer to 60 than I am to your age?
I'm 27, so do the math.
16. So, no, I'm just closer to you than that's close.
Big
That's
deep
close.
breaths.
But Sarah, you are closer to my closer in age to my eldest child than you are to me.
How does that make you
Who's
feel?
more mature?
Well, when I have to deal with your Gen Z behaviour every single day, it makes me feel good.
I don't think I am Gen Z. I think I'm still
You've, like,
technically
straddled.
Are you a millennial?
millennial, yeah.
So me and you are the same generation then?
1998. Oh, are we? No, I'm Gen Z. I mean,
No, you are.
every
You're just Gen Z.
single day
It's
in
28,
Tokyo, I'd be
it's
like, have you seen this meme? Have you seen this TikTok? Have you seen this? Every single
You're the
day.
first year
No.
of Gen Z.
Am I?
Yeah. Anyway, we need
You
to
can
answer this
tell,
question.
can't you? Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Gwen, I don't know is the honest answer, but I do think that you shouldn't write off the possibility of getting back there, particularly because you started running in the mid-30s and then got to this peak at 43. It's really difficult to know. There's a lot of changes that take place in your 40s. There's a lot of changes to physiology, hormones, muscle strength. All of those sort of things will have been impacted by the training that you're able to do. But I would say I'm going to take Ellie Kipchoge's phrase here, which no human is limited. So I wouldn't assume it's impossible. Absolutely not. It's going to be tough. Like, you just got to be realistic about that. But I don't think that it's important. I don't think anything's impossible. So if you can, but the key will be consistency, and it just be like, I'm going to have to accept. I have to accept it now versus when I was running back in the day, and I'm going to have to accept in another 7 or 10 years that I will recover completely differently. And so I won't be able to train in the same way as I do now in 10 years. I'll have to focus on different things. I'll have to space out my training more. I might have to do things where instead of having 3 hard workouts in a week, I might have 5 hard workouts in a 2-week cycle, which you still get, if that makes sense. So there's lots of things that you can do, and you just got to aim for that consistency.
It's about setting yourself up right as well. I mean, it's like going on a 14-hour flight. Don't go to a karaoke bar until midnight the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just
See,
how
whereas
do you
me,
feel about your life choices in that
the young
moment?
spring chicken,
Poor,
can
poor,
go to a karaoke bar the night before.
I don't know, can you though?
come
You
on.
were as bad as
Come on, you were conditioned rancid on the plane.
No, I wasn't.
Absolutely nonsense. You are speaking nonsense.
No,
He's
I'm
so
not.
cross.
I was so happy to be there. I sorted out the carnet to get onto the plane.
You did, took
I
about
got
an hour.
everyone onto
That's
the plane.
customs.
I had a lovely little Did I eat anything before I got on the plane?
This is brilliant. Sorry, Sarah's obsession with egg sandwiches. She got on the plane and then forgot that she had an egg sandwich in her pocket. Literally.
It wasn't in my pocket, it was in my bag, because
that's just
basically
as bad.
at breakfast in the hotel, they had this little packet with
So you
like
stole an egg sandwich from the
Yeah,
hotel.
the one that said,
These
please eat this in the restaurant.
I know, but it was the last day,
Yeah.
and I thought if I was going to do something naughty, then I'll ask Tom
Yeah.
to steal the sandwich for me. So he stole me a little egg and ham sandwich, and I had it 6 hours in, and it was lovely.
Very briefly, Gwen, I'm just going to give you a slightly, hopefully useful bit of information. I think you just need to add one more thing in. So if you were just relying on your training before, maybe change your nutrition because you need that extra spurt. Maybe change your sleep because you need better sleep.
Strength and conditioning.
Strength and conditioning. You need to add something extra if you want to get back. So I'd say, yes, it is possible, but you need to add another dynamism to your flow.
And I'm sure by dynamism, Rick meant dimension. But other than that...
No, I meant dynamism.
Okay, right, excellent.
Yeah. 'Cause being dynamic is fantastic.
Right, and if you are dynamic, then we would love you to dynamically send this podcast to someone who you think might enjoy our dynamicness.
Add some dynamism to your flow.
Yeah, and we will see you next week for more flowy stuff.
We'll be better by then, I promise.
Yeah,
Stay
Andy's
dynamic.
actually talked to someone who ran Berlin Marathon and finished 8th, and
That's
you'll
right.
be able to hear that next week, so stay tuned for that.
Ciao.
Bye.